I've seen like real weird problems. You can just tell me, shoot. So this friend goes that when I get really tense and stressed about something, this is what happens. I begin to imagine that I'm a dog. Not just an ordinary dog, but a Dalmatian. You know that white dog with those beautiful black spots, that cute little thing? I begin to imagine that I'm a Dalmatian. I start to think like one, I start to act like one, I start to bark like one. So that is my problem. When I'm really tense, this is what happens. So can you help me? Oh, this is your problem? Absolutely nothing. That itself was a shocker to those of us who are watching because we thought it was really weird. And this therapist says, that's a very common thing. I really did not know that. That's another story. So he says, I want you to sign up some of these papers. We'll put you through this session, which would last for about an hour, longer than hours. And at the end of it, I will assure you that you will feel absolutely relieved. This problem will be gone. It will never haunt you again. It was really reassuring, and we signed up for it. And then the session began. And the therapist started firing question after question, real weird questions. Some of those you never could even imagine. Probably only a therapist could imagine such things. And this went on and on. He was asked to fill out some questionnaires that contained all kinds of weirdo questions. And this happened, it was almost 45 minutes, and we're approaching the closing time. And then the therapist says, so you're almost done with the session. We are 75% through. This is just one last thing that you need to do before you're through with this. And I'm sure you're feeling much relieved already. You must be feeling that by now. And I just want you to do one thing. Can you see that couch, that nice soft couch in that corner? I want you to just go there and lie down flat, close your eyes, just be in that position for 10 minutes. He says that, and then our friend goes, oh, but I'm not allowed to climb up on furniture. He says that, and he starts licking his back, counting the spots on his back, and starts to bite on his imaginary tail. See what happened? So what was supposed to relieve his tension ended up doing otherwise. This man actually demonstrated exactly what problem he was going through because he was so stressed by that session that he was a Dalmatian. Right there, we saw it. But I'll assure you, friends, that is not going to happen today. None of you would have to count spots on anybody's back or your friend's backs. It's not going to happen today. And at the end of this session, when you walk out of this hall, after having chanted the Mahamantra, you will definitely feel supremely confident. You will feel that this whole experience and the time that you decided to take out to be here was absolutely worth it. Because this, as I told you, is not a formula that we coined. It is the wisdom of the great rishis. It is the wisdom of the scriptures, and it definitely works. Let me assure you that. Because this would make you, it would connect you to that infinite source of energy. It would remove every hint of self-doubt that might exist within you. Because according to me, the greatest enemy there is when you're up against a challenge is self-doubt. Never doubt yourself. So when that self-doubt is removed, you definitely succeed. So this Mahamantra will help do that. It will help achieve that. And it would give you that focus, the concentration, because there is no greater weapon in this whole world than a focused mind. It has been proven time and again, and that will be bestowed by chanting this Mahamantra. Once when Swami Vivekananda was traveling in the West, there is this very interesting anecdote that happened in his life. It's a small thing just to tell you what a focused mind can achieve. He happened to visit a golf course. Some friends took him there, and he was watching for a while as all these professional golfers were showing off their skills. So this was happening, and then quietly Swamiji went there. He picked up a golf club, and he struck the ball, and he hit birdie right away, just like that. And everybody was shocked. They said, Swamiji, we did not know that you actually had the time to take some professional training in golf. You never told us that. Swamiji smiled and said, No, I've never set foot on a golf course before. This is the first time. Nobody was ready to believe that. But then he explained to them that it's very simple. It's not about golf or it's not about golfing skills. It's just about focus of mind. I note that the ball is here and the hole is in such and such a distance. When I focus my mind on this act that I'm going to do, when that one pointed focus is there, you definitely hit bullseye. So that is what a focused mind can achieve. And that is the power of spirituality, the power of these mantras. That is what they can bestow upon us. And above all that, it gives this one very important attribute that distinguishes the winners from the rest. It's the attitude that says, never give up, never say die. That attitude, that positive frame of mind is bestowed by the Mahamantra. It does that, believe me. There were two frogs, two real close friends from childhood. They were best buds. One of them always participated in such Mahamantra prayer meets that we organized. He believed in all these things, the ancient wisdom and all. And there was this other chap who was the so-called rationalist. He said, come on, I don't believe in all these things. It sounds very mundane. It's not going to work. So he did not believe in all those things. One day, these two friends, they happened to be talking to each other and they went for a walk at night, and by mistake, they slipped and fell into this big bowl that contained creamy, slimy milk, extremely slimy. They fell into that bowl. So they were trying their best to get out of that bowl. They were kicking around, and they could get absolutely no hold, no grip whatsoever, and it seemed like a losing battle. So at that point of time, this rationalist friend says, look, he reasons out. He says, I don't see the point really, because it's very slippery and there's nobody to help us. It's not going to work. The more we try, the more tired we're going to get. It's going to be a painful, slow death. I'd much rather just give up right now and just die. Let's accept it. This is the end. He says that and he stops kicking around. That's it. He slowly slips inside. End of story. Then there is this other frog, the one with a positive frame of mind, the one who used to chant the Mahamantra. He says, I'm not going to give up. This is what I'm going to do. I will try. Till the last bit of energy is left in my body, I will try, I will kick. And he does that. He goes on and on for hours. And then he gets to a point where there is absolutely no energy left. So he says, okay, so if this is bound to happen, let it. And he just gives up at that point because he has no energy. And right at that moment, a miracle happens. Or what appeared to be a miracle happened. Suddenly he felt this white, frothy thing from underneath that lifted him up all the way to the surface. The constant kicking and never say die attitude had churned that milk, and butter had separated. And on that butter, this frog, he came on top, and when he was on top, he jumped out, happy life. So that attitude that says, it ain't over till it's over, that attitude is given. That frame of mind is given by this Mahamantra. And that, my friends, is what separates the winners from the rest of the pack. You will definitely get that positive frame of mind, let me assure you. If you're wondering how a mantra can do all this, it can. I can explain to you by some examples that we all understand, that we can all relate to, because sound, mantra, a mantra is a sound. Everybody accepts that. Sound itself has these special properties, these special capabilities. We all know that. If you've ever gone to a place where they train dogs using dog whistles with different frequencies, and the dogs respond differently to different frequencies. So sound has that potential. It can evoke specific changes in the mind that can happen with sound. It happens. And if you're a horror movie buff, I'm sure you've seen this movie known as The Shining. It's a classic horror movie, a must watch. If you have not seen it, you must. Don't do it now, probably after the exams.